Hi everyone, this is another episode of the Ozone Layer, and today we're really lucky to have Tiago Aguiar from Tecban in Brazil with us, and we're going to be talking about open banking in Brazil. So Tiago, thanks for joining us. Obviously open banking's happening very soon in Brazil. Can you tell us a little bit about just how the market's developing and what's happening?
All right, thank you very much, Huw. Thanks for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be here with you and with Ozone. Everybody's really excited about open banking in Brazil. We're beginning actually the process of making the standards, and the Central Bank of Brazil is actually pushing really forward for open banking to be everything implemented by October next year, 2021. So we have the central bank. It is spread into four phases for the banks to implement open banking. So actually, the major banks, there are 13 banks that are obliged to be on the open banking ecosystem. And right now, about around November, those banks, they have to publish APIs that allow people to access, to know about the products and agency, ATM locations, kind of this data that are actually already public, but it's not that easy to find. And then by May, all banks, they have to publish APIs that allow other parties to access the data from clients, transactions. And so this is actually the main deal of open banking, right? So you can access all the data from your client as long as you have their consent. And then on August, it comes to force into production the payment initiation. So this is also something really big. And then at the end, by October, you have other products that Brazil, a little bit different from the UK. They're also going to be access to information about investments, insurance, and then pension funds and things like that. So it's a little bit more, it's broadened than the UK open banking.
Perfect. So a full open finance scope. And you talked about the big banks having to participate. What about the smaller banks and financial institutions?
Yeah, well, the 13 banks, they are obliged, but then all regulated parties, all regulated institutions that are regulated by the central bank, they can also participate into the open banking. So we have 1,596 institutions regulated by the central banks. So then you have financial institutions, you have payment institutions, you have credit co-op, cooperatives, and then you have other type of institutions that are also regulated by the central bank. All of them, they can access. So if some smaller bank wants to access information from a big bank, he can just go there and then try to pull those informations out. But then it has to be reciprocity. He has also to open his APIs to that bank.
Yeah, but I think it is really interesting because it's a broad open finance scope and with this concept of reciprocity. So, and Tecban are a huge player within the Brazilian financial services ecosystem. So what's your strategy? What's the role that Tecban are looking to play in the open banking ecosystem?
Well, our role, it's to be an enabler, to verbalize, just to make it that easier and smoother, and reduce costs for the banks to implement open banking. So as you know, we have a really good partnership with Ozone, and this has actually brought us up to speed, and that's something that really put us on the map to provide this technological infrastructure for the banks. And we don't see ourselves as a role, in front of the market in terms of this is something that the banks, and actually this is something for the consumer, then the banks, and then our technology, just support that. But we have to be invisible, so the technology doesn't have to be the ends, so it just the means to an end much broader that the open banking is seeking. So we're talking about financial inclusion, and we can talk a little bit further about that. So we want to be an enabler and help and facilitate. And what we thought, other than just build from scratch, why just go to the people that are actually doing that really good and have the experience, and maybe we can join forces and deliver something to the market that's already the standard and really good, better than trying ever and getting it right.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly really excited about working together to enable the bank in the market. And I guess the journey started in a big way a couple of weeks ago with a huge hackathon that you ran. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was amazing. Actually, it was really good because open banking, at first, actually, everybody looks at the open banking through the regulation perspective. So you just see as a compliance exercise, and then you get the regulation from the central bank, and it's like technical people and lawyers talking to each other, and then actually what does this do for the consumer. And also when you get the papers talking about open banking, they're always talking about in the perspective of banks losing their assets, which is the data from the client. And then this is one perspective, and what we wanted to do is actually what the open banking will bring to the people. So we invited, we opened up subscriptions, applications, and we had more than 1,000 people applying to participate on the hackathon. And the hackathon was actually just sort of the open banking just happening, because people would just go inside a sandbox and would access account, data. So we had like 40 different types of account with transaction data from clients. And we had all the APIs exposed to those developers. And then we had 200 people actually that was participating in the hackathon, and divided in 40 different groups. And those groups, all of them, they had 3 days to make something with this access, with this data. And it was amazing because at the end came up so many different solutions and value proposition that we never thought of. So we show to the market what is the capability, what is the opportunity of the open banking. So and when you are in a big corporation, when you are inside a bank, you are so distant from people that actually have the need, have the problems, and have the we can map that out. And those people, fintech and developers, they are actually more close to people. So they came up with really good, interesting things.
Yeah. So what were one or two of the ones that really stuck in your head as interesting propositions?
I think most of them that they solve some problems regarding financial inclusion. I think that those were the ones that most struck me as really interesting, because in Brazil, I don't know if you know that, but we have almost 50 million people that are excluded from the financial system. And not that they want to have a bank account. What they need actually is finance. They need a loan, they need something like that, and they can't get it. So we have a lot of people that are working just as a supplier, as someone that doesn't have a job, but he does work, but he's not in the system, so he can apply to a loan. And the one that the team that won the hackathon, they came up with a solution to help those people that they do like small jobs at homes. They do small jobs like repair jobs, those kind of day jobs. And they invented an app where this person just go inside this app, and the cash flow runs through this app. So he can he helps those people to have a credit score. With this credit score, he can have a micro loan to actually provide the service that he was hired to do. And those kind of service, they are like a day service, but he needs to buy supplies, then he needs to buy something, like a paint job, he's gonna paint some apartments, and then he doesn't have the money to buy those things. And with the app, he's gonna have a credit score, and then he can have a micro loan to do the job. So that was really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. And just talking about some of those numbers, the potential here is huge, I think. And by the way, I'm not sure I've heard of any open banking hackathon bigger than that. So no, I think it's a really exciting start point. And yeah, we'd love to hear more as the open banking journey in Brazil continues. So maybe we can come back and talk again. But yeah, thank you. This has been really interesting. So yes, thank you. Until the next time.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.